welcome back to A Year in the TikTok of Anti-Diet Pilot, and I'm kind of hoping that we can finish Justice today. I mean, we have like this, if you can see this bar here, we have like this much to go through, but a lot of it is shit that I don't think I'll end up covering. Like these first 6 videos here, all about her hair, all about buying raw hair to do this hair transformation thing. Was she swindled? I think maybe. Kind of. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know hair like this. So, like, it sucked for her. She ended up eventually getting a refund, and it just overall seemed like a shitty experience. But I don't feel the need to cover each of those TikToks. That pretty much sums it up right there. So we'll probably skip over some of that stuff, and we're just gonna start here.
I don't know how to have this conversation. I keep restarting this video over and over, but I wanted to talk about being in the largest body that you've ever been in while you're like recovering from ED behavior. Because it's so hard, especially like right now in 2024, when over the past like 4 months, people have been dropping so much fucking weight. Like there's so many creators that I've been watching for years, and I have to sit here and like contemplate if I need to unfollow them. And it, like when you say it out loud, you're like, oh, I'm unfollowing them because they've lost weight. Like that sounds so stupid, and I'm like, I don't want to unfollow them because of that. Like I love their content, but like for example, this one girl was getting ready for a wedding today, and like you can just see how much weight she's lost, and I'm like, because in my brain I'm like, oh, she looks so much better. So why am I thinking those thoughts? I don't want to have those thoughts because I don't want anyone to like, I don't want to feel pressured into like doing things that led me down a really hard path. Anyways, I really don't know how to make this a constructive conversation without it being triggering, so I'm just gonna stop.
So I think she has like some valid concerns for herself, not necessarily on a bigger scale, but for herself. She's worried about going back down the ED behavior route. There's ways that this like it could be a genuine issue, but she needs to realize this is not a societal issue. This is very much a her issue, and there's no shame in that. Like if you are struggling seeing everyone lose weight and if you are feeling kind of thin-spired by these people losing weight when you have a history of ED and ED recovery. I think those are some genuine concerns, and I think that it's something where if you have a therapist, it'd be worth talking about and like talking about with them. And if you're struggling in general and you don't have a therapist, maybe talk to your GP if you have one. She's in a position where we've already seen her talk about how important her health is to her and how she'll just go to the doctor and stuff. So this would be a perfect time for her to go to her GP, feel like she's struggling with this, and maybe get a referral for counseling if she needs it. But I don't think that this is a societal issue of, oh, everyone's losing weight. Oh, we're talking about how good they look. This is fat phobic. That's not the issue. That's not what's going on here. The issue is that you're having a very personal reaction to someone else's life, and you need to figure out how to navigate that for you, but it's not a systemic issue. That person is not in the wrong, and I'm not saying that Justice in this particular video said that it was wrong, but that's where it feels like it's going. And it's one of those things where it's like having that reaction to someone I think is valid, especially with her history. But that does not mean that that person is wrong. It does not mean that that behavior that that person is doing is wrong. It's just that it is incompatible with where you are in your life right now. And if you need help navigating that, the answer comes from counseling and not from any sort of social media, social justice action, you know?
I still love him, but I don't want to love him anymore. I don't want to hurt anymore. Please help me forget. I still.
Honestly, Justice needs counseling. She needs counseling between this is the very next video. So between what we just saw and then this with her toxic ex that we've seen plenty of, regardless of whether they were clipped enough or anything, we've seen plenty of her responses, plenty of his responses. They're both toxic people. They're not compatible with each other in the slightest. She needs counseling. She needs counseling on how to deal with these really toxic patterns in her life. The caption says grocery shopping with a girl who thinks dieting is stupid as fuck. Someone who thinks that, don't get me wrong, I'm not shaming what she bought. She bought, honestly, it seemed like a very balanced cart to me. There was dairy, there was produce, there was protein, there were carbs. Like, it was a very balanced basket from what I saw. She only got one, like, sweet treat sort of thing. Overall, I don't think that what she had was bad. Um, One, it looked very expensive because this is Whole Foods, but it wasn't bad. So saying from someone who thinks dieting is stupid as fuck, but you are eating a very balanced diet. And when we talk about people eating unhealthy, we're not talking about people like you that eat a balanced diet, maybe just eat a little bit more than they need. That's where I think I'm like getting to where I think I eat a fairly balanced, nutritious diet, but um I eat too much. So, but this isn't the same as someone who's drinking a 30-ounce Dunkin' Donuts, mostly sugar coffee every morning that then turns around and has ice cream later that day and then fast food for lunch and dinner. Although, from what I understand, Justice does that as well. But this is, we're talking strictly her grocery stuff right now. And just in general, will shop unhealthy stuff when when people are talking about dieting, and they're not talking about fad diets, because there's, unfortunately, I really wish there were two different words, because I feel like they get conflated in talking points, especially fad acceptance talking points. Of there's kind of three types of diets that we talk about when we are referring to diets. We are talking, there's fad diets, which are like those crash diets. There's moderate diets, which is about a moderate calorie deficit, modest to moderate calorie deficit, and otherwise moving towards healthier eating. And then there is diet, as in this is just what you eat. So I wish that there was a way that we could talk about these things. And then there's also diets for medical purposes. So like there's like four different ways that, yes, they're all very interconnected, but they have very different implications. And I wish there was ways to talk about that without it constantly getting conflated with one another. Um, Fad diets, I think, are stupid. What you're doing is what most of us would suggest someone who is trying to live healthier and trying to lose weight. The only thing that would add to what you've put in your basket is that we would suggest a modest to moderate calorie deficit to go along with what they're eating. I don't think you're eating the way the majority of people eat. And we've seen, given her general expenses that we've seen, she has to come from money. I really feel like she has to come from, maybe not, obviously she's not like a billionaire's daughter or anything, but I feel like she's from a family that is moderately well off enough that she's either having some of her income supplemented, or she was hired by a family member in whatever her position is to earn money.
Let's grab my first ever Too Good To Go order. It's a voiceover. I did it pretty well though, didn't I? Anyways, super quick walk to go pick up my food. $6 for dinner. $6 for a big ass bowl of Indian food. Yes, ma'am. And shout out to the guy working because he was so nice and made sure my food was spicy. So I got Boomy Modern Indian Grill. I have no idea what's in it, but that's kind of the fun. It's so good. I think this is quinoa. I think that's purple cabbage. There's definitely chicken in here. Indian sauce. For $5.99 plus tax? Absolutely.
All right, I don't really think that we need to watch much more. It's just her eating and saying that she also ordered something but it didn't taste good. What do you think of Too Good To Go? I'm curious.
Let's grab my...
What do you think of Too Good To Go? I'm curious. Um, Because I don't think that I think it's not a bad idea. Part of the issue though is that like she ordered the thing and she goes, I don't know what's in it, but that's part of the fun. So it's not great for someone with food allergies. Don't get me wrong. I would never order from an Indian restaurant because most Indian food includes turmeric somewhere in it, and I am like deathly allergic to it. But just in general, like that seems like a potential flaw in the app where you can't see what the item contains. So if you have a food allergy, there's an issue. That's a place for improvement for the app, I think. But if it works for her, good for her.
Notice how when I want to stuff my face like I haven't eaten in 10 days, I do it in the privacy of my own home. Very demure, very mindful. Not like you other girls ordering from Uber Eats when I'm hungry. I use the Too Good To Go app. Very eco-friendly, very demure, very considerate of the planet.
Okay, I'm sorry. That not like you other girls ordering Uber Eats, so she's really going the not like other girls route. This to me just points to Justice's deep insecurity when comparing herself to other women. She has a serious need to feel superior, which we already knew, but this is like her most blatant moment for it. And part of me is like, was this, I'm curious, this was not sponsored, at least not as far as, yeah, it's not sponsored. Uh, she just really likes it, which is fine. I don't think I actually think that, the concept of it isn't a bad one. I think that it's a good idea. But just this kind of like I'm not like the other girls. I'm better because I use this app. There's something so middle school, so high school about it that it you can be really into this sort of thing without putting others down. That's what I don't understand. She it Justice is such an interesting example of social media for me because in some points she's showing herself as an absolute mess and doing things that are clearly against her own self-interest, mostly in regards to this ex of hers. But then in other points she's like really trying to, you know, boost herself up while putting others down. At the same time, she's very judgmental. She's very like there's so much to it. She's just I don't even know what to make of her personality sometimes. I don't know if I want to watch the rest of this. I don't think there's really any need to watch the rest of this since it seems like it's just an unsponsored ad for Too Good to Go. So we're just gonna go ahead and move on because I don't need to see more of this.
I know you guys are gonna be really disappointed in me, but I'm here in Portland, Oregon, not because of my ex. I'm actually here visiting family, but like since I'm here, I was like, I really want to see my ex. Like I'm just
Girl, good. This is the one area where I actually feel like I'm probably I somewhere between the most frustrated and the most empathetic or sympathetic, I'm not sure, towards Justice, where like I feel bad for her insofar as she can't seem to break herself free of this mindset. This girl, I'm telling you, this girl needs counseling. And I don't mean that in a put down way, the way we've seen fat acceptance people do it. This is not a you need counseling sort of sit like you clearly have patterns that are hurting you. This is hurting you. Every time you go back to your ex and then you make a TikTok about it, you look like you're on the verge of tears or have just cried. This is self destructive behavior. And I feel like she doesn't recognize. I wouldn't be surprised if this leads into her eating habits some too, and that's why she goes so hard in the other direction. She seems to deal in extremes, and she seems to be very prone to toxic patterns that do nothing but hurt her. She needs counseling to break free of some of this stuff.
convinced that I'm going to marry him, even though like especially after these texts. This is so fucking embarrassing. I don't even know why I'm sharing this, but I'm feeling like shit and I just feel like hopefully it helps somebody else, okay? So he texts me and he's like, when are you gonna get here? Mind you, we've been FaceTiming, we've been talking all week, blah, 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 whatever. And I said, I don't know, I haven't slept yet, so I'm gonna sleep as soon as I land. And he was like, just let me know your room number. So fucking disrespectful. So of course I responded. I'm very direct, and I was like, "We are not going to have sex. Like, you could take me on a proper date. Like, show me some fucking dignity and respect, or you're not gonna see me." He just simply responds, "Yeah, I'm busy." And I know I shouldn't have responded after that, but I did. And I was like, "Well, not too busy to have sex," and he was like, "Right." It just makes me feel so insecure. I met this man when I was 18, and it just like brings me back to a time where I just felt so insecure that I had to do everything that men asked me to do, like even when I got nothing in return. And oh,
Girl, this is this is a you issue insofar as you need to learn to stop responding and stop reaching out and stop talking to people that clearly don't show you a level of respect that you deserve and do not show you a level of general, just basic human decency. Like he clearly treats you like an object. You need to walk away, and you need to learn that it's not your fault and it's not your problem insofar as how he views you is his issue. It's his issue. Don't worry about teaching him how to treat you. He doesn't need to know, quite frankly, because he doesn't need to be in your life. He doesn't even get the privilege of learning how to treat you like a human because he's already past that boat. He's already that ship has sailed, that bridge has been burned. Let him stay in the barren wasteland on his side of the burned down bridge. And turn around. So instead of looking at the burned bridge and mourning the connection, turn around and see the beautiful green field that's just behind you. Seriously, because I don't know why my only guess is that this guy kind of groomed her when she was younger. That's not, well, she said she could still be groomed at 18. It's harder, but I don't know. There's something about this where it's like it almost feels like she's continually going to him for validation, almost like you would a parent or something. Like I'm not saying that she views him as a parent or anything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's this, for whatever reason, she feels like she needs his validation and for him to treat her like a person when he's shown that he's not interested in that. And really, she should just cut him off and be done. But there's something in her that needs the validation from him specifically. And I don't know what that is, and I'm not a therapist and I'm not a counselor, but I think this is why she needs to go to counseling.
liking men is not a choice, and we all deserve financial compensation. Because why did this loser just text me? Why are you following up? I think it's very clear at this point that we are on different pages of what we want from each other. So why are you contacting me? My first thought is like he's really toxic, so maybe he was just checking in to see if I blocked him yet. But I feel like based on this, it doesn't seem like he really gives a fuck. So why the fuck is he texting me? Liking men.
Okay, so one, the liking men is not a choice and we deserve compensation. This is, if anything, this is really showing me her defense mechanisms. She was hurt, so she's putting herself up as this, I deserve to be compensated, this kind of indignant stance, I think is a way to protect herself. The comment that she's responding to says, "I'm so proud of you. I know you feel insecure, but you could have been weak enough and just let him come over and feel worse." But my one of my issues is that this isn't a matter of blocking or not blocking him, although I think blocking him would help her in the long run. But she doesn't keep him blocked. That's part of the issue. But stop checking up on what he texts you. He should not be taking up any level, and I understand this is far easier said than done, but he should not be taking up any level of mental space that you feel the need to check up on whether he's followed up, or if he is following up and is he going to say anything else, and then like getting upset, why is he texting me? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't understand the emotional reaction. I understand the emotional reaction, but for her own sake, it would be better for her to start detaching from this man. She's still feeding into the pattern even now by continually checking what he's saying and then wondering and questioning and theorizing about why he's contacting her. That is still part of the pattern that is still hurting her. She needs to stop.
I just landed in Portland and there's not a black person in sight. I'm so scared for my life. everyone's white. I just landed in Portland.
So, couple of things. When she says laughing because every white person was watching me, they might have been watching you because you had your phone pointed at your face and were like talking and clearly recording something. And I can't tell if she's saying I fear for my life as a joke or not. Like I couldn't tell. Now, Oregon does have a history of racism. They were one of the first states to outlaw slavery, but then they followed that up the subsequent year with banning black people from living in Oregon. So they're not really progressive. They were not progressive, and I think they were one of the only states that actually outlawed black people living there. There was a limitation that they could only live there for like 3 years or something. I don't remember when that law was repealed. That's part of the reason why Oregon is predominantly white, because that law had like long-term effects, right? It was repealed. It's not like it's still part of it anymore, but it did have long-term long-term effects. As far as fearing for your life, I've been to Oregon. Don't get me wrong, some people can be uppity little bitches. Um and you might be more unduly targeted because of your race. I'm not gonna deny that there's racists around every corner. But you work out, and from every Portlandian that I've seen, you could probably kick their ass. I'm just saying. But anyway, I understand if you're uncomfortable saying that you fear for your life. Like genuinely, I'm really hoping that that was just hyperbole on her part for comedic effect or something, or just because she was nervous. But I think that like her saying every person was watching her, every white person was watching her. Sometimes when they say that, and this isn't just a justice thing, I've seen this with, fat acceptance people saying, oh, everyone is looking one. Unfortunately, if you're the only person of your type, whether that be body shape or race, you are just going to draw attention. And it's not that it's right, it's not that it's fair, it's just that it's human to look at the person that kind of sticks out in the environment. And I can understand how that would make you feel uncomfortable. But also, you have to acknowledge that by filming yourself in public, you are also still kind of drawing attention to yourself. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Everyone shut the fuck up. Look what I got in the best Too Good To Go bag. I literally have chocolate chip cookie, chocolate croissant, 2 more cookies, another croissant, muffin. I thought this was the jackpot.
Alright, I don't have a need to watch this whole video. I will say that getting that many pastries in an order when they were already probably day old, they're gonna like not be so good probably before you eat all that. Just want to put that out there.
I told this 35-year-old grown man that if he wanted to
Stop responding to him. Stop talking to him. Part 3 of being traumatized by my ex. Girl, you are participating in the traumatizing of yourself. I find it interesting that she blocked out this part. I don't know what she was saying here. We'll listen to this. And if what she says doesn't conflict with what I'm reading on the screen, I'm just not even going to bother to read what's on the screen. But, like, she needs to stop responding to him. She needs to stop talking to him.
see me, he needed to take me on a date. Here's the thing, I'm a grown woman. I don't want to go on a date with a fucking bitch. It seems like you're putting stipulations on us hanging out. I expect a date. No, you cannot just come to my hotel room. I told this 35-year-old grown man that if he wanted to see me, he needed to.
All right, so the conversation in the background says, anything to deflect. You don't ever want to, I think, go out with me unless we have sex. That's fucked up. He said that's not it. She says I'm all ears. He says I said I want to have sex. I never said I wouldn't see you without having sex. I haven't seen you in forever, and it seems like you're putting stipulations on us hanging out, telling me I have to take you on a date. Last time I tried to take you on a date, all you did was bitch and have a bad attitude. Your idea of a date is going wherever you want to go and doing whatever you want to do. That's hardly a date. And then she apparently responded, but she's blocked that out. So, honestly, though, they're toxic for each other. They need to stop fucking talking to each other. Why the hell is she responding to him? Honestly, I've never been so frustrated at someone I don't even like. I shouldn't say frustrated at, frustrated for someone. Frustrated for someone I don't even like. And after whatever she posted here, he said, okay, I don't know what she said. She's blocked that out, which is confusing to me, and it makes me wonder what she said, but regardless, that's beside the point. Who the fuck cares? She just needs to stop talking to him. And I don't want to hear this about, you being traumatized by your ex. Stop talking to him. For fuck's sake. Get some counseling, girl, because you are hurting yourself at this point. He's being who he is, and that's a toxic person. It's someone that's not good for you, but he's been pretty consistent with who he is and what he's willing to bring to the relationship. You're the one that keeps this going as though you're trying to get something more out of him than he has basically said that he's willing to provide for you. He doesn't want to treat you like a partner. He does not want to treat you like a date. He does not want to treat you like a girlfriend. He clearly doesn't even like you to a certain extent, just from the way this is phrased. And it's all about sex for him, and that he's willing to hang out without having sex, but, like, it clearly what he wants is sex, and even if he was willing to hang out with you without sex, my guess is that he would still try to manipulate the situation into having sex with you. Stop talking to him. Stop responding to him. Delete his fucking number, for fuck's sake.
I just did a full body shower for a man that hasn't texted me in almost 4 hours. 3 hours and 23 minutes to be exact. He did tell me that he had an appointment before our date, but like a 4-hour appointment.
For fuck's sake, is this the same guy? Is this the same guy that you've been texting? Is this your ex? Is this the man that has shown you repeatedly that he has no fucking respect for you? Are you serious? You hurt yourself in this. I'm sorry, but you do. You hurt yourself here.
I don't feel comfortable getting ready and putting on a full face of makeup for a man that can't text me once within those 4 hours. Like, I just want to make sure that this date is still happening. If it's not, that's totally fine. Am I going to be upset that I did an entire full body shower for you? Yeah, and you're probably never going to see me, but that's okay. My outfit's on my bed. This is my agenda. Because my lashes are already done, I feel like, and I have pretty nice skin naturally, I think that I can get away with just doing a light makeup if he does text me back in like 10 minutes. And then I was already planning to slick my hair up because this is like day 6 hair. I was planning of slicking my hair up anyways and just having that be that. But I am pissed because, like, don't fucking waste my time, sir.
You're wasting your own time at this point. You are wasting your own time. You are playing the game just as he is. Y'all are both doing this to each other. I've never been so frustrated for someone and wanted to shake that. I don't even like Justice, but I want to shake her so much and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Stand the fuck up for yourself. Stop engaging in this toxic behavior and have some fucking self-respect. You want him to show you respect? He's already said he's not going to show you respect. So have some fucking self-respect. Block his ass. Stop responding. Stop doing this shit. What the fuck are you doing?
Why are people always trying to...
So, the comment that she's responding to says, it's crazy and I hope you don't take this wrong, but you are so beautiful both conventionally and like non-conventionally. And to think even you get not treated the best makes me really sad. Like, no.
Why are people always trying to humble me? Okay, you're my mutual. You're supposed to be on my same team. If I am having horrible man problems, why would you Why would you say that I'm not conventionally attractive? Why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? It's really, really rude. I'm literally going mental, and you leave this comment. I'm literally feeling like an unlovable piece of shit, and you leave this comment. I'm just wondering, like, how I was supposed to take it. Was I supposed to be like, oh, I'm beautiful in both ways? Like, I know you probably didn't mean any harm by it. You're probably just commenting something sweet because you're so fucking sweet, and I know that. But, like, The way I interpreted this comment was like, I am an ugly fucking ogre ass, nasty ass beast. That's how I interpreted this comment, just so that you're aware.
Honey, that's a self-esteem issue with you because she said you are so beautiful both conventionally and like non-conventionally. I don't know what she exactly means. I do think Justice, especially when she gets dressed up, is pretty. It's her personality that makes her kind of ugly, but that's me. But even so, I think what you're doing is that you're taking the way that your ex has made you feel and are projecting it onto your commenters because you can't confront your ex or you won't confront your ex. I don't know which it is, but the fact that you're still dressed up, willing to go out on a date with this man that has shown you repeatedly that he does not give a fuck about your feelings or your sense of dignity or your sense of respect. He has no fucks to give about you. But you, for whatever reason, feel unable to confront him like that, at least not in any sort of definitive way. You'll kind of dance around it, you'll call him out on certain things, but not his pattern of behavior. But then you'll attack this person who and say that you interpret it as her calling you an ugly ogre ass, which not even close to what she said. This is your insecurities because of your relationship issues being projected onto someone that genuinely meant you well. And if you have not figured it out yet, this man is destroying not only your self esteem, as we can see, and your sense of worthiness, as we can see, but your ability to maintain healthy, even parasocial relationships. And it has clearly heightened your sense of your sensitivity to rejection and your perceived sense of rejection. And you, rather than recognize that, you just make a video attacking this person that meant you well. God, she is becoming the most frustrating person to watch. I'm so glad this is the last part because I don't think I can handle more of this because I've never been so frustrated with someone. I mean, I think I have been this frustrated with someone, but not for a very fucking long time. And then that person was a lot closer to me than Justice is. I think I actually liked the person that I was last this frustrated with. I don't like Justice yet. Why am I so frustrated on her behalf? Fuck.
I'm so angry. Our date is supposed to be in 1 minute, and he texts me.
Okay, before we hear the rest, she's responding to a comment that says, "Babe, stand up, block him. You are so gorgeous, and you're right. So many people would be interested and consistent. If it's bad now, it won't get any better." Thing is, though, is that this has been ongoing. People have said this to her, and now she's talking about how mad she is, and we're gonna find out what happened. But it's like, what did you expect? To me, this seems very par for the course for what he's shown us before. I don't know why you have surprise Pikachu face over this.
And he says, I just got done with my appointment. Oh, your appointment went for 5 hours? I've never been in a 5 hour appointment before. That's crazy. And then he says, oh, I tried to book, but like the last seating is at 10. Yeah, I fucking told you that, you stupid idiot. And now he's like, well, where are we going to meet? In hell, I guess. Eventually, someday. Not today, unfortunately, because I don't do that. You can take me on a date, or that's it. And yes, I'm sitting on the toilet and I'm having these like deep thoughts now that I'm like, why are men just so against like taking me on a date? Is it just me?
So from what I've seen, men in general aren't like this. Your ex is like this. You are, oh my God. It's explaining more and more of her behavior. She exploits men for money. She demands a certain level of payment from men because she clearly doesn't feel like she's going to get any level of respect or love from them based on her interactions with this ex, rather than saying, don't get me wrong, I think they probably both had a part to play in this, and I have no doubt that, especially as an older man targeting a very young woman, I would put a little bit more of the onus of the situation on him for this. Just given, like, I'm 33, took me a second. If I was targeting a 21-year-old male, one, I wouldn't. That feels weird. Just because difference in life positions and the difference in maturity levels would just automatically make the relationship unequal to me. And I was 21 once, and they're still figuring out where they are in life and all of that. And actually, I don't know if their age gap is that big. I forget because she's given so many different ages with for how long, like how long she's known him. I don't know what her age is at this point in time. But we're going to go with like a 10-year age gap. And the difference in 10 years, especially in your late teens, 20s, and 30s, can be pretty big. I think the 10-year age gap becomes less of an issue the older you get. But in this particular time, it's a pretty big maturity gap. Would feel like there's more of an onus on the older person in that relationship to keep things within a certain level of fairness, and moderating the toxicity and navigating the emotional areas of the relationship. I think I'm not good at this, you guys know this, but like this is not men. This is your ex. And don't get me wrong, I've watched my sister date a number of men, and there can be like an ongoing thing regardless of age with men and the emotional labor they're willing to put into the relationship. And in general, and again, this is just more observational, but I've noticed that most men, um, in my very limited distanced observation, tend to have issues with avoidance around tough emotional topics that need to be talked out. So that could all be something that could talked about. But this isn't men that only want to have sex with you and don't want to have a relationship with you. This is your ex. And maybe there's men that only want to have sex with you and not treat you well or whatever. That I think you probably attract that because your low self-esteem from your ex. And again, one of the big ways that you can help yourself move forward is to dump his ass, block his number, and don't unblock it. Fuck.
Is it just me? It might be. I don't feel like taking me out on a date is like that much to ask. Especially like when you asked me, you fucking idiot. Now, I will be fair that I have like begged my ex to take me on a date and he like wouldn't. That's fucking embarrassing. But again, like I'm staying strong, kind of. Like I will only go on a date. Period. I'm not coming over to your place. I'm not. Where are we meeting? I don't know. Better find a restaurant that's open. Better find a high-end restaurant that's open because I'm not meeting you at a fucking fast food restaurant. I'm not meeting you for quick eats. You wanted to take me on a date. I just literally got fully ready for a date.
Why are you still even entertaining it though? Not only was he an hour later than he said he would be, he did not keep you updated and he didn't have a reservation ready. He's shown that he does not give a shit. Why are you still entertaining this? You think that you're acting strong, but really, you are giving him more chances than you should. You shouldn't have even agreed to this date, in my opinion, but fine, whatever, you agreed to this date. He's shown he does not give a fuck. He does not care. You are not worth the time or energy to him to think about where to eat. Because he's asking you where to meet up. He wants you to do all the work. He does not give a shit.
The date was amazing. It was seriously amazing. The restaurant was. I'm gonna post a whole review on it. I had really high hopes and I was very disappointed. But the date itself was really great, and he like texted me this morning before I even saw my phone, which helped me with the after date anxiety because you never know if they like actually liked you back. You would think after.
So, from the sounds of it, she did not. This wasn't a date that she set up with her ex. Thank fucking God. We're gonna go ahead and move on and see if she posts that review and see what she says.
I don't trust a single Chicago food reviewer because I think you all are liars. We're so excited to try this restaurant, and allegedly Simone Biles has been here. We started out with some free cocktails, which I would give it like a 5 out of 10. Wasn't good, wasn't great, wasn't bad. Not my favorite, so I ordered the All That Glitters is Pink For some reason, I thought this would be like a glittery cocktail. Taste-wise, I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10. There was literally like no glitter though. It was just like on the little rim. I would have rather had a Cosmo if I'm being honest. My date got the Professor, which was a $40 cocktail and absolutely delicious. Definitely giving that one a 10 out of 10, but it is very strong. For our appetizer, we got the seafood tower. The oysters and the crab were so good, but the shrimp was incredibly rubbery and fishy and chewy. Because of that, it gets a 7 out of 10. This is the best drink I think I've had in all of Chicago. It's called the Devon Star. It's very creamy, very delicious, 10 out of 10. For dinner, my date got the garlic shrimp and I got the chef's cut. Date said the garlic shrimp was okay. He only ate like 1.5 of these. I was disappointed because they were actually out of the chef's cut, which was the Wagyu, but she recommended substituting it with the American version. We also got a side of carrots, which were seasoned really well. We'll be 100% honest, I was very disappointed in this steak. My date could see it on my face that I didn't like it. It was just very chewy, not well seasoned. I felt like I had to dip it in the sauce, and I had to beg my date not to say anything. He really wanted to, but I ate the entire thing and just shut up. I thought the ambiance was really great. I love how dim it is, but how every table has lighting. They also had live music. I then asked our server to surprise me with a new cocktail. I don't know what this was. It was very good. I would give it like an 8 out of 10. For the next like 30 minutes or so, our server was nowhere to be found. They were all running around, so they must have been like very understaffed. Felt so bad, but we did eventually get 2 dessert wines, and for our dessert, we got the espresso s'mores. I was so excited about this dessert because I saw it on TikTok. Y'all, it's nothing to write home about. It's okay. And because I was on a date with a proper man, he was trying to hide the check from me. I explained I needed it for TikTok, so then he tried to be very cryptic, and I was like, no, I need to see the receipt. I was a little confused why we were charged for the Wagyu, even though we didn't get the Wagyu. There's also an admin fee. What the fuck is that? Oh my god. We still tipped. He rounded it up to 800, so like he tipped very well. Overall, I would give this restaurant like an 8 out of 10. Our server was so fantastic, and I love that this restaurant didn't have a time limit. We spent like 3 or 4 hours there. Not sure if I go back because there is better food in Chicago, but it was a good date night.
So, yeah, you better have been able to not have a time limit for an $800 um receipt. And here's the thing. Her review is her review. That's what reviews are. They're personal opinions. The reason why I wanted to show this one though is that I felt like she was disrespectful to her date by insisting on pulling the check for TikTok to show TikTok. Like, I would assume that would put the guy in a very uncomfortable position. And not only that, but she's recording a lot during the date. I mean, otherwise I understand that it's harder to review the restaurant, but ultimately you're there on a date, right? Like, I don't know, that just seems in poor taste to me. I'd love to hear your opinions on how she behaved specifically in this video for her date. And I think that airing out how much her date paid and stuff, it feels kind of crass to me. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? It feels like disrespectful and crass to like pull insist when he's clearly trying to be cryptic about it. He doesn't necessarily want to air out how much he's spending. And for you to insist and pull the receipt and record it, and then talk about how he rounded it up to 800 when he clearly didn't want to necessarily disclose how much money he was paying. I don't know. The whole thing just seems rude to me. I don't like that. I don't think that that was very respectful for someone who wants princess treatment. You kind of have to act like a princess then, and that's not acting like a princess. That's acting, I'm not sure, but it just seems rude and without decorum to do that. That's my opinion though. I really would love to hear your opinions on this one.
I just had 2 Benadryl and I'm really hoping for the best. I think I'm like gonna go out and run some errands because like I don't want to die like alone in my apartment. Look at my lip right now. I had a sandwich, and then after I had some of this Carol's cookie from Whole Foods. It's a huge cookie, so I ate like a third of it. And then I was like, oh my god, why is it hard to breathe? I was feeling really uncomfortable. I was sitting down.
So I'm gonna skip over these next two and just give you guys the quick rundown. The cookies had mold on them because they were from a Too Good to Go order, and she's allergic to mold, and that's where the allergic reaction was coming from. I find it interesting though that someone that was so like, as soon as I have a medical issue, I'm gonna go to my GP. If you're having what's clearly an allergic reaction and you take a couple Benadryl, for someone that is so like, I don't understand why people don't go to the doctor as soon as they have, like, why aren't you going to urgent care then? You know, like, granted, I I'm the same way. A couple years ago, I was between my health insurance, like I was switching jobs, and I didn't have health insurance yet. And I accidentally ate some chickpeas that had turmeric on them. And I was having an allergic reaction. I took some Benadryl. Um, my family was trying to keep me awake because I kept wanting to doze off before the Benadryl had even had a chance to kick in, really. My throat hurt, my tongue felt big, all sorts of like bad allergic reaction stuff. So I understand the trying to wait to take action to see if you really need to. I didn't end up having to go to urgent care or the hospital or anything. The Benadryl did its job. Um, but for someone like Justice who says that, oh, whenever I don't understand people that don't take charge of like a medical concern. This is a medical concern. If you were that concerned about it, that you're like, I don't want to die alone in my apartment, go to urgent care.
I know we're all very familiar with tipping culture. We have now entered fee culture. I just want to know why I'm being charged directly for your employees' healthcare and benefits. How you were not embarrassed beyond belief to add this onto a check is beyond me. No, I don't give a fuck about being charged $1.75, but it's obviously a percent of something, and the cost is going directly to the employer. Every other country can price their menu options accordingly. They don't do tipping. They don't do fees. Why do y'all do that here? First, you demanded that we pay servers at least 20% so they get a livable wage. And now you want us to pay their health care benefits? I'm going to need you to close down the entire restaurant because you can't afford to run a business. You can't afford employees. I truly believe that fee culture is a result of tipping culture. Everyone's like, oh my God, but if we don't tip the servers 20%, like they can't afford to live. So then we just normalize 20%. And now employers are like, oh, well, like what's an extra 2%? They're not going to notice. And eventually they're going to double this. It just sucks because I love going out to restaurants and bars with my friends, but I know that every time I get the check, I'm going to get pissed off about something. And it's just like, why? I know we're all very familiar.
So I've never seen a fee like that, but that's fucking wild. And I'm sorry, this is another situation where I agree with Justice. Why the hell are you putting that on my check? Either up the cost of the items on your menu to pay for your employees' health benefits and a livable fucking wage. I said either, but I really don't have another alternative. Like, that's what you should fucking do. Why the hell? And not only that, but that seems like mildly humiliating to the employees, right? Like as a customer, I need you to pay for my health benefits. And like the person that's in like that almost feels like I wonder if the employees are actually paid like healthcare benefits or if this is something that's done as manipulative tactic by restaurants because they see the person right there and you're not going to cause a stink necessarily to the person who you are supposedly paying their healthcare for. It's just something about it seems highly manipulative and seriously sus. Like, what the fuck?
I went on a second date yesterday. This man bought me the Ninja Creamy. We had maybe a 20-second conversation on our first date. I'm in my acai bowl era and I think I should get a Ninja Creamy. I was like, they're just so expensive. I don't know if I should do it. The fact that he listened and got the deluxe, which is the one I was talking about on our date, immediately when I got home, I froze something, so let's make it.
A lot of women are asking, how do I ask for stuff? You don't ask. You suggest. If you do ask, the guy has to like you a lot more than you like them. And if that's not the case, you're going to have to use the power of suggestion. You're going to have to use your body language. You're going to have to use your words. You're going to have to use eye contact and, quick movements. If you meet somebody and you're out for lunch or whatever, and there's a shopping center in the same area or right next door, or there's a store there.
So the texture is not exactly how I envisioned it, but it still tastes really good. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong. I'll look it up later. But it was free and it tastes so good.
Genuinely, I don't understand how you could be comfortable with that in general. Like, also, I recognize though that I'm weird about gifts. Like, I really struggle with people giving me gifts. I don't particularly like it, even with family when they like surprise bring me home something. Like, I'm not great at maintaining a poker face on that one and being just happy and grateful that they gave it to me. I'm like, wait, no. I'm not supposed to do this. I don't like this. I don't say that exactly to them, but I think it's pretty clear on my face that I struggle when they surprise me with something because there's something I don't know why there's always like an association with guilt or that now I owe them something And I know that's not how gifts are supposed to work, but that's nonetheless how my brain interprets it. Like, it's much different for me if it's not necessarily monetary, if like someone comes and takes care of a chore that I hate doing or something. Like, I'll genuinely appreciate that and accept it for the gift that it is. But when it comes to like monetary gifts and stuff, I'm even if they expect nothing in return, I'm still really uncomfortable with it. So the idea of being gifted something really expensive by someone I've been on 2 dates with um, would make me greatly uncomfortable. But I'm actually curious to know how do you guys accept gifts, especially like surprise gifts, gifts that have no particular occasion attached to them, and how would this make you feel? Like, genuine question.
He is a liar, as you say?
Well, absolutely.
Why did you work for him?
Savannah, slow down.
He is a liar, as you
So um the captions say you're not responding back anymore.
work for him.
Just block him then, and then it follows up with Savannah. Just calm down. This is like, from the sounds of it, you're going out with a. I ended up skipping over, but she just did another like restaurant review with her date, and it seems to be maybe the same guy that she was dating previously with the previous restaurant review. Once again, she showed the check at the end, which I thought was in poor taste. But like, you're clearly, and I'm thinking this is the same guy that got her the Ninja Creamy. I'm thinking all of this is the same guy. I could be wrong. But like, you're clearly getting this guy that is giving you princess treatment like you had requested, like you wanted. You are getting what you want. You are getting what you want, and from the sounds of it, from everything that you describe when you're on these dates, you will enjoy his company. So why are you holding on to the ex? This is self-fulfilling prophecy if I have ever seen one. You are hurting yourself. You are sabotaging your own happiness. And this isn't an issue with men. This is an issue with you.
I don't care how hard the Ozempic girlies try to shove that shit down my throat. I will never go down a path of intentional weight loss ever again. Weight has gone up, but so has my income, my quality of life, my self-confidence, and everything in between. My self-esteem was so low, I let men treat me like garbage, do the bare minimum, and now, because of body positivity, body neutrality, and feeling confident in my self-worth, the men I date today give me princess treatment because I demand it. Literally, food, my body, and exercise were the only things I ever thought about. Now that I'm not so consumed with those thoughts, I get to focus on life, my friends, what I'm doing next year, where I want to go this weekend. There's also so much research that shows how bad dieting is for our bodies. I would never do that to my body ever again. People could really benefit from differentiating how they feel from how they look. One has to do with health, the other has to do with vanity. In my opinion, dieting is just an illusion of something that will get you a better life. It doesn't actually make your life better. It's miserable. Ask anyone who's currently dieting. It fucking sucks. So
She ends up with, so why do it? Uh, Here's the thing though. If we're talking about vanity and things that suck, same would go to me for Botox. Botox is literally poison that, if it's not injected correctly, could kill you. From what I understand, it hurts like hell while it's being injected. And yet you do it, despite the fact that it's painful and not actually good for you, for the sake of vanity. So I don't see how you can pass judgment on people that will try to lose weight for medical reasons, or even just for the sake of it because they are are overweight. And you can pass judgment on them and say, well, why do it? This idea that, I used to think about nothing but food and my body and stuff, that sounds like a thinking pattern issue with you, which we've seen with you and your ex. Like, this is very much a you issue. It's not a diet culture or a fat phobia issue. This is a you issue. And this is taking longer than I thought. Where are we? All right, so this is the one that I just watched, and this is how much we still have to go. So I think that's enough for another video. Unfortunately, I really want to get through this, but it's already been an hour that I've been recording, so I do have to stop it here. So it looks like we still have one more part with Justice left, and I will do my best to completely finish covering her next time. In the meantime, I don't really have much to say in terms of manhwa. I was like super fucking stressed this week. Testing the kids following some snow days was just absolutely beyond the pale for me, and I was like super fucking stressed out. And then on top of it, I had some interpersonal conflict with the other teacher in my department. that is causing issue. I'm not even gonna get into the full breakdown of it. And for anyone who goes, "Oh, talk to your admin," my admin, I don't get much support from my admin. Like when it comes to my admin, I get away with a lot, and I'm not micromanaged, and I'm pretty much kind of allowed to do what I want for the most part. Which is the bonus, but then it comes with the con of not being supported and not getting much help when I need it, if any at all. So I'm kind of dealing with her as best I can. The best thing going in my favor is that one, I'm trying to keep everything on topic, on work, and I'm not like submitting myself to her personal attacks. And I always redirect the conversation back to work because I'm not getting in the weeds with her on that one. On any interpersonal issues that we may have, we're talking about work. Number two, I'm trying very hard to be as respectful as possible, even if she's not that way towards me. And then number three, the biggest thing that I have going in my favor is that I know for a fact that no one likes her. She's actually gotten in trouble for her behavior before, which I won't go into. But so I'm hoping that should things blow up, which I'm trying really hard to make sure that they don't blow up, but should they blow up, um, I will have protected myself well. And yes, I do put everything in email form with her. So in other news, I've been going on this Draw Me subreddit. This is a picture of someone that posted on the Draw Me subreddit. And I've been practicing portrait drawing. Now, I'm not very good at portrait drawing, but I think I'm making progress, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. So this is the picture of the person who was on the Draw Me subreddit, and this is what I drew. What do you think? Did I do an okay job? Where could I improve? If you're artistically inclined and can help me with that, I'd love to know. Unfortunately, the one that I had originally drew for this guy, he deleted his photo, so I can't show you the original so you guys can get an idea, but this was the portrait that I drew for him as well. And I'm going to try to do a couple more today. I'm really trying to get better at portrait drawing and then maybe move on to figure drawing. I'm not very good at it right now, though. Like, there's issues. There's a lot of issues, and I keep making the eyes too big. But I'm very curious to know, like, you've seen these. What do you think? I would love some feedback. But otherwise, I don't really have much to say right now. I've been playing Pokemon Green, but that emulator is fucking broken right now. It's pissing me off. I haven't been reading much in the way of manga because I've been really stressed. And then I've been playing a little bit of 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. That was like a week ago, though. That was after I recorded my last video, which I was recording 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors because the Pokemon emulator is broken. So that's just kind of where we are today. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know what you're doing for fun. I would love to hear some like light conversation in the comments. And let me know what you thought of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.